Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be trying to do a series every day as the solar and lunar eclipse proceed and just kind of talk about the energies and how we can best use them and what's being called and asked of us right now. So I know everyone's feeling it. There's a lot of changes moving, really assertiveness, trying to make positive decisions for ourselves. And what's really being asked with this particular solar eclipse is self-discipline, guys. When I say self-discipline, this isn't just about this is not about being hard on yourself. This is not about, being rudimentary. It's really about being consistent. Consistency is key, regardless if you're manifesting, making healthy changes, removing unhealthy habits. I know lots of the time, just like in New Year's resolutions, we get so just gung-ho in the beginning and we begin to lose momentum. And the beautiful thing about diligence and self-discipline is being able to keep up the momentum even when we don't feel like it. And I know that can be difficult, especially for somebody like me too, so I'm not preaching. But this is what's being called for. This particular eclipse energy is not going to accept any less. And I'm not sure if any of you guys have noticed so far that the areas of your life that are changing or evolving or ascending in some way, anytime you kind of want to backstep, it's like, nope, nope, nope. You're really feeling it. You're really seeing the, I don't want to call it scolding, but definitely the repercussions of not being consistent. Whether that's just feeling emotional, like, man, it's like, consciously like really bothering you, or there's actual physical repercussions, losing clients, not getting that good review, gaining back that weight you just lost, even, whatever it is that you're trying to do. So guys, understand that self-discipline shouldn't be looked at in a negative way. It is a very self-loving act. Self-discipline and self-love are synonymous, because when you're doing things for your highest good, in order for you to grow, heal, release, you deserve that. We're so used to giving that support and consistent motivation to other people. And we need to be able to give it back to ourselves, guys. And I just wanted to pull some cards today to see what the universe has to say and how we can best do that. How would it advise us to best do that? Now, we all know we can buy planners. We can have reminders on our cell phones. We can make sure that we even using our own calendars. There's so many apps out there to try to keep us on track. When it comes to motivation, I find that visuals are always best. Vision boards are they're perfect. Whether you put up that physical goal, that financial goal, that relationship goal, the familial goal, spiritual goals. And when their visuals are always consistent, whether it's that ideal body type, the ideal health, the house you're trying to buy, or that body you're trying to emulate, when we constantly have it in our vision, it's like, not only is it easier to manifest, but we are constantly reminded. So put it somewhere like in front of your bed or right when you walk out the door. Or even I have mine on my laptop and on my phone. Everyone's so different, guys. Just understand that this is not something you're supposed to drudge through. This is something you're supposed to be excited and motivated about. So I'm just going to pull some cards just for some guidance, just to see what the universe has to say on this and what advice it has to give. So let's get into it. Just for guidance, how they would advise us to be more self-disciplined and more structured. Because regardless, guys, whether we're good at it or not, we're going to feel it. I'm feeling it. Like I'm getting gung-ho and I'm losing it. And I'm seeing the repercussions of it. And it's like, eek, just to see what they have to say. They all know we're different. They all know that it's key. I'm sure many people have read the book, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. And you'll notice that they have a structure. They do they get up, they work out, they meditate. They have, self-propelling patterns and habits. Let's just see one more card. Great. We have the major arcana card, balance. The 2 of water, which is 2 of cups in traditional tarot, and 10 of air, which is 10 of swords in traditional tarot. So first things first, guys, are talking about moderation. So please do not go crazy gung-ho. Don't be like, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week. Don't do that. If you're not going to the gym at all, let's just aim for 3 days. If you notice that it'd be better for you to be more focused on projects, then say, you know what, I'm going to give myself a certain amount of hours a day. It doesn't matter what time of the day, as long as I get it done. If you notice that scheduling things like doing it at 6 o'clock and 10 o'clock don't work for you, that's okay. Give yourself things to fulfill by the end of the week. Some people work better under pressure. I know I do. Structure and self-discipline look different to different people, but understand this is absolutely necessary with this eclipse, guys. So understand that there's timing, there needs to be cooperation and compromise. So guys, if you fall off a little bit, be compassionate. Don't beat yourself up. And I'm going to use working out as an example just because it's easy for health. So let's say I'm going to go to the gym 3 days a week. Hey, things happen. The kids get sick. Work calls you in for overtime. It doesn't have to be the gym. Maybe you go for a walk. Maybe you do some jumping jacks in the room and you use some weights or even cans of soup or water bottles. You're doing it. Or even if you're like, I'm going to be dedicated more to my my spirituality, and you're like, I really don't feel like meditating, like, you know, sitting down and doing that. But you know what else is a good meditation? Walking, gardening, sitting in nature, just not distracting the self. Switch it up a bit and compromise with yourself. Find what works for you. Now we have the Two of Water. This has to do with our relationships, guys. And Balance card is in conjunction with this, because it's not just, it's about mental and emotional balancing. Whenever we become emotionally overwhelmed, whether stress, anxiety, or adrenaline, or even good hormones, we want to be distracted with, you know, oxytocin and endorphins, we can go off the wagon. They're like, look, it's very important that in order to stay self-disciplined and structured, that we don't ignore our feelings when they come up. And this is what always knocks us off. Maybe you're upset, hurt, stressed. Someone didn't text you back in enough time, whatever it is. You're going to have to learn how to have positive resolutions to your emotional triggers. So that's first thing. Please do not put them on the back burner. Do not try to squish them down. Don't try to distract yourself. Like, well, forget it. I'm just going to go out and have a drink and not think about it. That's not what to do. When emotions are coming up, especially with this eclipse, they are meant to be sat with and dealt with. And I think that's a nice, you know, trade-off. Like, okay, I didn't go to the gym today, but what I did do was sit with a really deep-seated trigger. And that is just as profitable, because it won't be so strong. So maybe you do EFT, emotional freedom technique, which is also known as tapping. Maybe you journal. Maybe you go see your therapist. Maybe you cry it out and really have that deep cathartic release. But you really got to make sure that the way you're approaching your emotional triggers, and they're going to come up with this eclipse, is that you do it in a way that you've never done. You need to find a different way of handling this, because if you don't, it's going to undermine that self-discipline. It's going to undermine that consistency that you're trying to build. So don't get down on yourself. Like, I feel crap today, so I didn't do what I said I was going to do. That's okay. If you don't do what you say you're not going to do, fine. But at least handle the emotion and figure out how to best work with it. Okay? The next card is the Ten of Air. Guys, they're letting you know you guys are recovering. This is also a card of recovering from addictions. And addictions aren't just drugs and alcohol. They're food, they're sex, they're relationship, codependency. We have so many different kinds of addictions. And they're saying, understand that as we're going through this eclipse, and as we're trying to be more self-disciplined and structured in order to create and to grow, that we are actually trying to release really deep-seated patterns. And guess what? That takes time. It takes compassion and self-love, and it takes patience, my loves. It takes patience, but you're going to do such a beautiful job. When you have the Ten of Swords, you're like, look at, this is the end of the difficult situation. It isn't going to get worse. So take a deep breath. It's going to only get better from here. Sometimes it might feel not so good because you're dealing with the withdrawal symptoms. And believe it or not, such a heartbreak is a good example. You have the same withdrawal symptoms from heartbreak as you do coming off of drugs. You know, your body, you get the shakes, your sleeping patterns are off, your appetite's off. You have, you know, arrhythmia, heart palpitations. You guys have insomnia. It's the same thing. So just honor that. Drink lots of water. And I've been saying it over and over, and I'm going to say it again. Be outside as much as possible. When I say outside, I mean like in nature, as best you can, a park, your backyard, your patio with plants, whatever it is, and really just embrace these changes as best you can, guys, because whether we like it or not, these changes are for our highest good. So we can either fight against the current or we can flow with it. And when we flow, not only does it make it easier for us in terms of change, but it gets us to the destination quicker. So don't fight it. If you knew that healthy body, that perfect, that great, not gonna say perfect because no relationship is perfect, that ideal relationship, that great job, that perfect home was at the end of that river, you wouldn't fight the current. You just flow there together as quick as possible. So do your best to see the positives, handle those triggers, compromise, find what works for you. It's okay if you trip, get back up, get back on that horse, and ride it again, guys. This is a beautiful eclipse. I know it's uncomfortable, even for me a little bit, actually for me a lot, especially beforehand, but you're doing great. If anybody would like a psychic reading, a live coaching session, or a healing session, my link is down below. I hope this serves you guys. I'll be seeing you soon. Bye.